Before we delve into the heart of this unwavering struggle, into the very soul of a nation rising, remember this: the fight for dignity is eternal. If this story ignites a spark within you, if it echoes the courage you believe in, then stand with us. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to join a community that believes in the power of truth and the unyielding spirit of freedom. Your engagement fuels the fire of our narrative. The dust of the parade ground, stirred by the morning wind, tasted of grit and memory. Captain Amara, her uniform crisp despite the long hours, watched the new recruits, their faces a mix of apprehension and raw determination. She saw in their eyes not just the present, but the ghosts of 1,000 years. She saw the question that haunted every Burkinabe, every African. Why do we fight? It was a question she had answered 1,000 times, each time feeling the weight of history settle on her shoulders. It was a truth etched into the very soil beneath their boots, a truth whispered by the ancient baobabs and roared by the winds sweeping across the Sahel. They did not fight because they craved conflict. They fought because war had been imposed upon them, a cruel inheritance passed down through generations, each one heavier than the last. Remember the whispers of the Atlantic, the chilling cries carried across the vast ocean. Remember the brave, the able-bodied, the very essence of Africa, ripped from their homes, deported across an unforgiving sea. Millions died, and Africa was emptied, bled dry of its youth, its strength, its future. That was the first wound, a gaping chasm in the continent's soul. Then came the era of colonization. They arrived with their flags and their Bibles, their guns and their greed. They massacred ancestors who dared to defend their sacred lands. They killed without mercy, claiming dominion over territories that were never theirs. Africa, vast and rich, was carved up, parceled out, colonized not once but multiple times, each foreign boot leaving an indelible mark of subjugation. And today? Today, the chains are invisible, forged not of iron but of economic manipulation, of insidious influence, of a relentless hunger for what lies beneath their feet. Today, more than ever, it is a new form of colonization. Why does Africa suffer so profoundly? Because they want their land without them. Because their soil, rich with gold, manganese, and fertile earth, holds resources that endlessly tempt the imperialists, those who believe the world's wealth is theirs for the taking. Captain Amara remembered the elders' stories, the quiet pride in their voices when they spoke of the land's bounty, and the sorrow when they recounted how that very bounty became a curse. The attacks weren't random acts of violence, they were calculated assaults, proxies of a larger, unseen hand reaching for their inheritance. Villages burned, families displaced, lives shattered, all for the promise of mineral wealth that never truly benefited the people who owned it. Peace, they had learned, was a luxury denied to the plundered. Every diplomatic overture met with a sneer, every plea for sovereignty with a deaf ear. The enemy came, not to negotiate, but to impose. They came to take. And in that stark, undeniable reality, the choice became clear: submit to perpetual humiliation, to endless domination, or rise. We do not fight because we want to fight, Amara would tell her men, her voice steady, resonating with conviction. We fight because we were attacked. They came to impose a war on us. And why was this war imposed on us? Because they want our land without us. And it did not start today. It has always been the case for Africa. The fight for sovereignty is not a fleeting skirmish. It is a relentless crucible, forging a nation's destiny. If the echoes of this struggle resonate with your spirit, if you believe in the power of a people united against oppression, then join our journey. Like this story, share your insights in the comments, and subscribe to witness the unfolding saga of unwavering resolve. Your support strengthens every word. The sun beat down on the dense foliage of the Puangi region, turning the air thick with humidity and the scent of damp earth. Captain Amara moved through the undergrowth, her senses heightened, every rustle a potential threat. This was the crucible, the unforgiving reality of the war they had been forced into. Here, courage was measured not just in bullets fired, but in the silent, grinding vigilance against an enemy that lurked in shadows, seeking weakness, seeking infiltration. They had pushed back the initial incursions, securing pockets of peace, but the fight was far from over. Amara knew, as every seasoned commando knew, that the enemy was capable of slipping through the most secure lines. A commando understood infiltration. This demanded constant alertness, a discipline that went beyond mere obedience. It was a deep ingrained commitment to the collective survival. One evening, a chilling incident underscored this truth. A patrol, returning from a long, arduous sweep, was ambushed. Casualties. Amara's heart ached with each name. The investigation revealed a horrifying truth. A soldier, distracted by a mobile phone, had inadvertently broadcast their position, a digital beacon for the enemy. It was a betrayal not of malice, but of addiction, a casual negligence that cost brave lives. The rage that simmered within Amara was cold, precise. "We will not tolerate someone's phone addiction to endanger others' lives," she declared to her unit, her voice echoing the commander's recent fiery pronouncement. Good soldiers show discipline, focused on their post. A saboteur at the post with their phone on TikTok or 1xBet allows the enemy to approach, to attack, and good soldiers die in their rest. We will remove them from our ranks and punish them severely. The message was stark, unforgiving, but necessary. This was a war for their very existence, and every life was too precious to be squandered by carelessness. Yet even amidst the grim realities of combat, a parallel transformation was unfolding. The nation, once thought impoverished, was rediscovering its true wealth. "Burkina is very rich," Amara would remind her men, echoing the words that had become their mantra. They were not begging for loans from banks that offered none for armament. They were using their own funds, their own resources, once mismanaged, now channeled directly into their defense and development. New equipment arrived, paid for by the gold extracted from their own earth, by the taxes from their own burgeoning agriculture. Amara saw the older soldiers, veterans of leaner times, nod in quiet approval. "Just yesterday we weren't armed like this, far from it. This is your motivation." And it wasn't just about weapons. While they fought, they built. Roads snaked through previously impassable terrain, connecting villages, facilitating trade. Health centers, modern and equipped, rose from the dust, a stark contrast to the dilapidated clinics of the past. Farmers, their hands calloused from generations of toil, reaped harvests bolstered by new initiatives. This was the tangible fruit of their self-reliance, the proof that they could not only defend their land, but also transform it. Amara often thought of the beautiful streets and grand buildings seen in foreign lands. It's possible here in Burkina, and that's what we will do so that you live comfortably and well. This was the vision that fueled their endurance, the promise that made every sacrifice bearable. They fought not just to repel an enemy, but to reclaim their destiny, to exploit their resources decently, and to benefit from them, building a Burkina that resembled the developed nations but on their own terms, with their own hands. The crucible was hot, but in its flames a new nation was being forged.
The legacy of a nation is forged not just in battles won, but in the unity of its people and the promise it holds for its children. If this narrative of resilience and hope resonates with your own beliefs, if you feel the pulse of a people fighting for their future, then stand with us. Like this story, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to become a part of this unfolding journey towards ultimate victory. Your voice amplifies our cause. The fight, Captain Amara knew, was never truly for themselves. It was for the laughter of children echoing in peaceful villages, for the dreams of a generation that would never know the sting of colonial chains. She would often watch the young ones playing near the training grounds, their innocence a stark contrast to the grim realities of war, and her resolve would harden. Who among them did not love their child? Every father, Every mother would prefer to face danger themselves, to die even, so that their child might survive, might live comfortably, might inherit a better land. This was their ultimate sacrifice, their profound commitment to bequeath a future free from domination. The national anthem, with its defiant verses, was more than just a song. It was a sacred oath. It spoke of a Burkinabe's spirit against humiliation, against any form of domination, against new colonialism. It was a testament to ancestors who had fiercely opposed countless forms of subjugation, and now it was their duty to defend this land, bequeathed to them, and pass it on, intact and sovereign, to their own children. There could be no reservations in this fight. They would oppose everything these dominators sought to impose. Crucially, the war had forged an unbreakable bond between the army and the civilian population, a love that had not always existed. Amara remembered the years of distrust, the small, endless fights that had fractured communities. But today, the army and the people were one. Civilians provided vital intelligence, their eyes and ears extending the reach of every patrol. They offered moral support, psychological solace, and a shared purpose that transcended the battlefield. There was no reason to feel down, no reason not to push forward. Continue to cultivate this love with the population, Amara urged her soldiers. Continue to help them, to participate in uniting them. Decades of divisive politics had weakened their social fabric, splitting people over trivial matters. But now the soldiers, hardened by war, had become ambassadors of peace and cohesion. When a soldier spoke, civilians listened. They believed. It was easier for them to carry out the calls for unity, for dropping the divisions born solely from politics. Being a soldier, Amara taught, was not just about holding a weapon, running, killing. It was about embodying values, defending a homeland, and uniting its people. The enemy's desperate attempts to sow discontent, to spread influence through stateless individuals abroad, were met with a unified front. One must be very careful when someone tells you not to fight. They want to subdue you. Do you want to be a slave? Do you want to be dominated? No. The answer was always a resounding no. The Burkinabe would not negotiate. There was not a single solution other than victory. They would fight and they would win. Those who came to attack them would die on this land. Not a single square centimeter would be surrendered. Amara looked out at her brave, determined soldiers. Keep preparing, she told them. Always remain on alert. Even if you are not in operation, you must stay on alert, because at any moment you may be in operation. This war, they vowed, would not last much longer. They would do everything possible to intensify the fight, to annihilate the enemy, and to build the Burkina they wished for. The homeland or death, they would overcome. As the final echoes of Captain Amara's resolve fade, the story of Burkina Faso's unwavering spirit continues to unfold. This is more than just a tale of conflict. It is a testament to resilience, self-determination, and the enduring power of a people united. If this journey has moved you, if it has shed light on the profound fight for freedom and dignity, then we invite you to be a part of its legacy. Like this story to show your support for the spirit of defiance and self-reliance. Share it with others who need to hear this powerful narrative of a nation rising. Comment below with your thoughts on the themes of historical justice, unity, and the fight for future generations. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that illuminate the human spirit's capacity for courage and transformation. Your engagement helps us share these vital narratives with a wider audience, ensuring that the echoes of their struggle resonate across the world. Thank you for being a part of this journey.